All right, let's talk about something that's as infuriating as a buffering symbol during the best part of a cat video, taxes. Specifically, how the very, very wealthy often seem to pay a curiously small amount of them. It's a bit like a magic trick, isn't it? A multi-billion-dollar income goes in and poof, a surprisingly modest tax bill comes out. The amazing part, much of this isn't even technically illegal. It's all part of a sophisticated game, a system of tax avoidance, which is basically tax evasion's smarter, better-dressed cousin who went to law school. This isn't about hiding cash under the mattress. Oh no, that's amateur hour. This is about exploiting the very rules designed supposedly for everyone. Now, why should you, a normal, hard-working person who probably just paid taxes on that sandwich you had for lunch, care about this? Well, because when a massive slice of the economic pie is barely taxed, guess who picks up the slack? That's right, it's often you. It's the difference between your local library getting new books or having a bake sale to fix the leaky roof. It's about the potholes on your street that seem to be breeding. The tax system, in an ideal world, should be fair. But when some can legally sidestep their contributions on a grand scale, fair starts to look like a word found only in dictionaries, not government policy documents. The strategies employed are varied and often mind-bogglingly complex. They have names that sound like they belong in a spy movie. Shell corporations, tax havens, depreciation schedules that defy logic. It's a world where accountants are the new superheroes, or perhaps supervillains, depending on your perspective and, crucially, your income bracket. These aren't loopholes accidentally left open. Many are carefully crafted, often with the help of lobbyists who ensure the tax code resembles a block of Swiss cheese. And the wealthy, quite rationally from their point of view, hire the best cheese navigators money can buy. The implications of these practices ripple through society like a badly thrown stone in a previously calm pond. It's not just about abstract numbers on a government spreadsheet, it's about funding for schools, for healthcare, for infrastructure, for scientific research, basically all the things that make a society function and, dare I say, improve. When a significant portion of potential revenue vanishes into these perfectly legal fiscal black holes, the societal infrastructure starts to creak, and we're all left wondering how the magic trick is done, and more importantly, how we can make it stop. One of the most popular tricks in the wealthy tax avoiders playbook is called offshoring. Sounds exotic, doesn't it? Like your money is getting a nice tan on a beach somewhere. And in a way it is a tax-free tan. Essentially, this involves moving money or setting up companies in countries with very low or even zero tax rates, often charmingly referred to as tax havens. Think palm trees, clear blue water, and a distinct lack of questions about where your enormous pile of cash came from. These jurisdictions are basically saying, bring us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses of untaxed profits yearning to breathe free. For example, giant multinational corporations are masters of this. A company might make billions in, say, the UK or Germany, but through a series of complicated intercompany payments and licensing fees for things like a logo, yes, really, they can shift those profits to a subsidiary in a place like Bermuda or the Cayman Islands. Suddenly, that massive profit made in a high-tax country magically appears on the books of an office that might just be a mailbox in a sunny paradise. The result, a drastically reduced tax bill in the country where the actual economic activity happened. It's a global shell game, and the P is almost always wealth. Then we have trusts. The word trust sounds so reassuring, doesn't it? Like a cozy blanket for your assets, and for the wealthy it often is. A trust is a legal arrangement where you hand over your assets to be managed by a trustee for the benefit of someone else, the beneficiary. While they have legitimate uses, like providing for minors or those unable to manage their affairs, they can also be powerful tools for minimizing taxes, sometimes for generations. It's like putting your fortune in a very sophisticated legal lockbox that the tax authorities find incredibly difficult to pry open. By placing assets in certain types of trusts, particularly those structured in specific ways or located in, you guessed it, favorable offshore jurisdictions, the wealthy can shield that wealth from things like estate taxes or even income taxes. The money grows, it gets passed down, and the taxman is often left looking wistfully from the outside. Sometimes these trusts are so complex, with layers upon layers of ownership, that figuring out who truly owns what becomes a Herculean task. It's less about hiding money and more about making it legally untouchable, a financial ghost that haunts the ledgers but rarely pays its dues. Now let's talk about a delightful quirk in many tax systems, the treatment of capital gains. This sounds fancy, but it just means the profit you make when you sell an asset like stocks, bonds, or real estate for more than you paid for it. If you buy a share for $10 and sell it for $15, that $5 profit is a capital gain. Simple enough, right? Well, here's the kicker. In many countries, including the good old US of A, these capital gains are often taxed at a significantly lower rate than the money you earn from, actually working a job. It's a special discount for money that makes money. Think about it. Your salary, the reward for your daily grind, your sweat, your endless meetings, gets taxed at ordinary income tax rates, which can be quite high. But if you're wealthy enough to have a large portfolio of investments, the profits from those investments often get a VIP pass to a lower tax bracket. This is why you sometimes hear about billionaires paying a lower effective tax rate than their secretaries. The secretary's income is all wages taxed fully. The billionaire's income might largely be capital gains, enjoying that sweet, sweet tax discount. It's a system that fundamentally favors wealth over work. This discrepancy has a huge impact. It means that those who derive most of their income from investments, typically the already very wealthy, benefit enormously. One particularly egregious example of this is the carried interest loophole. This allows private equity and hedge fund managers to have their compensation, which looks an awful lot like a performance fee, that is, income for work, treated as capital gains. So they get the lower tax rate even though they're managing other people's money. It's like your boss paying you a bonus and telling the tax office it was actually a lucky investment you made. The argument often made in favor of lower capital gains taxes is that it encourages investment and stimulates the economy. And perhaps there's a sliver of truth to that in a galaxy far, far away. But the overwhelming evidence suggests it disproportionately benefits the rich and contributes massively to wealth inequality. It's a system that says, congratulations on being rich enough to invest. As a reward, we'll help you get even richer and you can pay less tax on it than the person cleaning your office. It's not just a loophole, it's a philosophy embedded in the tax code. So these clever strategies, the offshoring, the trusts, the capital gains tango, what's the actual damage? Well, it's substantial. When a significant portion of the wealthiest individuals and corporations legally sidestep billions or even trillions in taxes, that's a massive hole in government revenue. Think of all the public services that money could fund: better schools, modern hospitals, reliable infrastructure, scientific research to cure diseases or combat climate change. Instead, that money is often sitting in a tax haven or reinvested to generate more tax-advantaged capital gains. It's a direct hit to the national purse. This doesn't just mean less money for nice things, it means tougher choices. Governments might have to raise taxes on everyone else, usually middle and lower income earners who can't afford fancy accountants, or they might cut spending on vital services, which disproportionately affects the most vulnerable. It also fuels a deep sense of unfairness. When ordinary people see the ultra-rich playing by a different set of rules, faith in the system erodes. It breeds cynicism and resentment, and rightly so. The social contract starts to feel like a very one-sided deal, heavily weighted in favor of those at the top. Now, closing these loopholes sounds like a no-brainer, doesn't it? Just fix it. You might scream at your television or this essay, but it's incredibly difficult. The same wealthy individuals and corporations who benefit from these schemes also spend enormous sums on lobbying to protect their interests. They fund think tanks, they make campaign contributions, they hire armies of lawyers to argue that these tax breaks are essential for economic growth, despite evidence often suggesting otherwise. It's a powerful, well-funded machine dedicated to keeping the tax code just the way it is. Thank you very much. So, what's the takeaway? Is it all doom and gloom and financial wizardry designed to make your head spin? Well, mostly yes, but understanding these secrets is the first step. The fairness of a tax system is a cornerstone of a functioning democracy, demanding transparency, pushing for reforms that simplify the tax code and ensure everyone pays their fair share. These are not radical ideas. They are fundamental. Perhaps, just perhaps, if enough people understand how the magic trick works, we can finally convince the magicians to contribute a bit more to the upkeep of the theatre. Or, we could just keep watching the potholes multiply. Your call.